Hello. So I promised a couple days ago that I would tell my origin story as to how I came about doing the van life. Um, the very beginning's a little sad, but I'll try to breeze through that real quick for those of you that don't know the story, and then get on to the better stuff. Okay, so I don't want this to be a negative. But 16 months ago, I suddenly lost my wife and the love of my life. And we had already lost an infant daughter back in 2007. And I know she'd never recovered from that. But anyway, we didn't know that she was sick or anything like that. It seemed like she was just complaining of back pain. Took her to the emergency room and she crashed. And she was in a drug-induced coma for 6 hours. And then all her organs failed and she went into catastrophic heart event they couldn't bring her out of. So, just getting past that briefly, that's what was the trigger. I've been on permanent disability for going on 23 years due to heart issues. We thought I was going to go first. But after she passed away, just being on disability, she was the main breadwinner as a school teacher. Once I took care of the, what was it, a loss for words here, the estate, and waiting for that money to come in, and there was a big mix-up with that financially, legal battle with the ex and her ex, and in time that they straightened it out. The money went into the her estate. I was able to pay off all debt. I paid off all the credit cards. I paid the car off, everything, so that I wouldn't have to worry about the financial aspect, because there's no way I could keep up that lifestyle on disability. It took time because right after she died, we went into this whole COVID lockdown. She passed away in October of 2019, and a few months later, we were locked down. And when that happened, I'm going to have to edit this part out. When that happened, I was able to start looking for a place to live because my landlord decided he's going to sell the apartment we were renting. So in the middle of COVID, and I probably could have forced myself to stay there, but I felt it was a toxic relationship and I really needed to get out anyway. So for the period of about 5 months, I was looking for a house or a condominium. I was going to pay in full cash. And I was looking at, maybe 4, sometimes 5 properties a week, and I kept getting outbid. That's the market. My agent told me it seems like everybody's leaving the cities, like New York, LA, and they're buying up the properties in the suburbs. And the interest rates were at an all-time low, so people were like snatching them up. So they kept outbidding me, even though I was bidding above market value. Go figure that one out. Full in cash. I wasn't even going to carry a mortgage. So during that time, I started looking at van life. I was watching some videos of other people that were doing it. So I didn't tell anybody I was doing this research because I wasn't sure if it was going to pan out anywhere or anything. But it was a backup plan. And after 5 months of not being successful in purchasing a home, I decided to give the van life a go. And instead, for probably a fifth of what I would have paid for a home, I bought a ProMaster City outright. I also went to Wayfarer Vans out in Colorado and purchased their kit that fits this particular vehicle. It was also the only kit that they could ship. If I had gotten a larger ProMaster, I would have had to drive it out there empty and have them, install it there. And they were on backlog because of, COVID as well. So, it took about almost 2 months, but I got my kit. I had a couple of friends who were into, putting stuff together. They did it, put it together for me. And I decided to hit the road. So for the past 3+ weeks, I've been test driving this still in my area, which is South Jersey. And I got, just trying it out, see what it's like, trying to find places to sleep at night, definitely doing it all legal. I'll park where, truck drivers park or other RVs, things like that. So, there's a bit of research, using different apps, finding out what's available. Learning what it's like to try and sleep in the cold, So I do have insulation in the back. That was part of the kit. And, a heater and stuff like that. But when it was below freezing, that little heater wasn't doing much. I'd kick it on for 5 minutes, turn it off, and about 5-10 minutes later, it was freezing again. That was when it was below 32 degrees, like when it was really down there. So then I figured out, well, you know what? Let me just try, on a full tank of gas, let me just run the car and the heat off the car. And I did that, and at the end of the night, I had only used 1/8 of a tank of gas, which I'm like, okay, that's acceptable for me. 1/8 a tank of gas to keep warm for the night, yeah, that works. So I was doing that, and I have 2 key fobs, so I was able to have the engine running and then still lock the car from the back. And then, that way nobody could, rob me blind in the middle of the night. Pardon me. So that was my, that's what I decided to do. And I'm actually enjoying it so far. And I haven't even actually traveled the country yet. I'm getting ready to do that soon. I've already had my first vaccination, and I'm waiting for my second shot on April 10th. And then I'll give it a couple of days past that to see if I end up getting any, sick or any kind of reaction from that second shot. First shot was fine. It was a breeze. I was worried because I have health issues, and I've stopped breathing before in my life. I know what that's like. And with all my allergies to medicine and food, I was afraid that could happen again. It was an unfounded fear. Now, we'll see what the second dose does. Hopefully, worst case scenario, I get sick, feeling sick for 24 hours or so. It seems like a lot of people haven't been having too much of a problem. So after that, and I'm sure that I'm not going to be sick, because who wants to drive around sick? I'm going to go ahead and hit the road. I have people that want me to visit, and they're being safe and cautious and not going into the stores and so on. So we're going to still mask up and be safe. But I'm going to visit a couple of people and just start my travels. So I do have specialists, heart, diabetes doctor, endocrinologist. I have a foot doctor and my eye doctor. So what I've done is scheduled them to all be within the same week and a half period of time. And then, so every 4 months, I have to come back and see my doctors. The eye doctor is only once a year. Foot doctor is only like twice a year. But the other two, my endocrinologist and my cardiologist, are both every 4 months now. So I'm booking everybody to be at the same time. So now I only have to be in town maybe 3 times a year. And the rest of the time I'm traveling. So I've got a good 4 months before I have to be back. Sorry for these pauses. And I'm having a hard time figuring out the editing. I got to get the video over to my laptop where I can really do the editing. When I try editing it in the phone, I end up like deleting stuff. So I don't want to do that. So this might end up still being rough until I can figure out how to transfer. It doesn't like to transfer large files from my phone for some reason. So I'll figure it out somehow. Anybody have suggestions, feel free to put them in the comments down below. So we were talking about doctors, yeah. So and then the rest of the time I'll be out on the road and just seeing the country. I plan on documenting my travels, as a lot of people do. Lots of photographs, some video, and I have a lot of people back home here that want to follow me. It's like, oh, we want to like live vicariously through you because we can't do this. We've got family and stuff. So that's the only thing that I have, is I don't have anything holding me back to do this now. So I'm going to spend my latter years here, whatever time I have left, traveling the country and seeing the sights. I'm going to try and hit a lot of the landmarks, famous landmarks, stuff like that, post pictures, and so on and so forth. So I think I'll end this video in part of what I'm doing. This is a spiritual journey for me. This isn't just travel. My heart is healing over the loss of both my daughter and my wife. I went through an awakening after the death of my daughter that caused me to question my faith of 30 years. And after 2 years, I actually walked away from that. And I'm still a spiritual person, but I don't believe in the trappings of religion. So part of this is the healing of my heart and the opening it to the universe and what that entails. So, I don't have everything totally planned out. I mean, I'm hitting the road and starting this adventure and seeing where the road takes me. And that's basically my story in a nutshell. So now, anybody coming to this channel, you have an idea of why I'm doing this and, going forward. So anyway, it was good talking to you guys today. And I hope you enjoyed this video. See you later.